Hello everyone, welcome back to another installment of Life Stories. My name is Trent, and I hope you guys are doing well in these crazy times. But worry not, because I am here to read you guys some ridiculous stories from Reddit/entitledparents. So you know how this goes. Let's get it started. Our first story is titled, Entitled Hockey Mom Tries to Defend Her Little Angel from a Boarding Penalty, among others. EK gets the crap beat out of him. Hello Reddit, I've been perusing this sub more often, and almost thought my posting days were over. Little did I know. So, some context. I play in a neighborhood hockey league, kinda like a beer league, but for children. It's almost not even organized, except an adult referees it, and sometimes parents show up. We had a game this fateful day, and I was walking it. I noticed we were playing against EK's team, Bruins for simplicity. Our team was first in the league, Wild for simplicity, and EK's team was second, so it would be a grueling match. Now, EK was normally a hypocritical bully in the first place, like dumping out water, throwing cheap shots, etc. And of course, whenever someone would retaliate, he would pull the whole, "Oh, woe is me, he shoved me," which is legal, even in a milk league like mine. And when I say cheap shots, I mean dirt freaking cheap. He almost snapped my then crush's neck after throwing a hip check on her, causing her to do a flip and land on her head. And when the whole team came skating at him, calling for his head, he no joke skated behind the ref, petrified. So yeah, this is kinda pathetic. So we got our stuff ready and went to the ice for a pre-game skate and warm-ups. Immediately, I saw that EK had pranked one of his teammates with a taped skate blade, which made him fall. EK just skated off, howling. Then he yelled at his friend for not saving the shot he had fired at him, almost going bar down. For those of you who don't know what bar down means, it's a term used to describe when the puck hits the bottom of the crossbar, shoots immediately down, and goes into the net for a goal. It's the kind of shot that's really hard to save from a goalie's perspective. I shoot a few warm-ups and skate around, and eventually the game started. I checked in my tendy, or goaltender, real quick, just to be sure she was ready, and eventually the puck dropped. I should also mention, this was one of those games that EM decided to go to, and earlier in the season, she had been banned for yelling at the ref after EK got called on slashing. Skipping a decent chunk of the first period, EK had already given 2 big hits, which were legal. I was already kinda pissed, because one of them was on my admitted crush. I kept playing, and eventually I had a breakaway opportunity and scored. EK smashed his stick on the ground, nearly breaking it. His coach yells at him, and he gets off the ice. On to the next period. About halfway through, she starts talking smack at me like, "That goal sucked. My dead grandma can shoot better than you, kid." Good for her, bud. At least her ankles aren't in pieces from getting dangled like yours. Please, I just lost my balance. Sure you did. It's at this point that I get a hard shove from EK, and the ref picks it up. 2 minutes in the box for interference. EM pipes up from the other end of the rink. "Oh, come on, he barely touched him." AR, awesome ref, said, "Ma'am, please be a little less out there with your complaints." "F off," she said. The ref, raising his voice, "Do I need to remove you from the premises again?" "No, sir." She finally shuts up. After the 2-minute penalty, EK is released and immediately goes for a cheap shot on my crush. She's skating the puck up the ice, bending it like a boss, and dangerously close to the boards too. EK takes the opportunity to smash MC into the boards. One minor detail was missed. She was facing the boards. So basically, EK skated full speed and shoulder smashed her into pure wood and plexiglass. MC crumbles to the ground, holding her face. My whole team skated over and started tossing shoves and yelling at EK. With the team nurse and my crush's mom, or MCM, who will be relevant later. The ref obviously calls for a penalty. That's when EM tunes in and says, "Oh, for God's sake, he didn't even touch her. She's just embellishing and being a wimp." My crush's mom goes over to deal with EM, while meanwhile, EK looks down at MC and says, "Remember how hard that smash was, then compare it with tonight's." This was the last straw, and he was getting his ego raised by his teammates. I throw down my gloves and sucker punch him in the face. He moves back and throws his gloves down. "You made a big freaking mistake, bud. Try me," I say. He throws a wild haymaker that sends him tumbling to the ice. Once he's down, I go down as well and just start wailing on the kid. His nose pretty much exploded with blood, and the whole team was trying to pry me off him. They eventually do, but not before I broke his nose and jaw. We were both escorted off the ice. Him, because he was pissing blood out of his face like a fire hose, and me, because I got game misconduct. Heh, idiot. Me and MC both head back to the locker room. We sit down on the bench, and I try to make her feel relaxed until the game ends. We eventually win 3-1, and learned after that EK and EM were banned from the league for the rest of the season, which is about 30 games. We disassemble our hockey gear, and all's well that ends well. Side note, after MC's fractured jaw healed, we eventually had our first date. Thanks for reading. Well, I mean, it's one thing to pursue love with hard knocks, but hey, if it worked out for you, at least the kid and the mom got what was coming. Also, public service announcement, please try not to beat the crap out of each other. Moving along, our next story is titled, "Entitled Mom Thinks If My Garage Door Is Open, She and Her Bratty Son Can Search For and Take What They Want." I've been lurking here and have been afraid to post because I'm awkward and don't know if my stories will be as well liked as everyone else's, so here goes. I'm posting from my phone, so there might be some mistakes. The cast. Myself, about 16 years ago. I'm 28 now, so I was 14. EM, my neighbor from across the street and self-entitled mother. And B5K, her 5-year-old child who obsessed over other people's stuff. The scene. My garage. During the summer between 7th and 8th grade, my parents would go to work and leave me with a giant list of chores so overwhelming I wouldn't even try. Also, I live in Texas, so it would sometimes be too hot to try. One day, to avoid being crapped on, I decided I would attempt to do the chore, clean out the garage. My parents hoard stuff and then get upset when they can't find what they want, and my stepfather just buys crap and doesn't even try to put it anywhere. So it's my job to organize the garage so that my mom can actually park her car. I'm moving stuff around for a few hours, and I'm sweaty and hot, and all it looked like I was really doing anyway was just removing a mess. I come across my tricycle from when I was younger. I put it outside on the driveway so I can try and find a place for it later. I decide to take a break and go inside and fix some lunch. A couple minutes later, I hear rummaging in the garage and something break. I thought it was my cat. I look. It was B5K. Sounds like a Star Wars droid name, doesn't it? Searching through the place. Looking around like he had just found good treasure. Hey, B5K, where's your brother? He's grounded until Monday. Well, you should go home and play with him. What did you break? B5K looks like he's going to cry. Listen, I don't play unless your brother is here too. Please go home. So I closed the door. I thought that was the end of it. I go back to my food and some VH1 music videos. When I'm done, I go back outside and notice something's missing. The tricycle is gone. I knew who took it, B5K. So I get on my bike and ride it around the block. I catch up to B5K in almost no time at all. He tried to start pedaling faster, but it's a tricycle, so it's not like you can do that. I want everyone to know this. This was no plastic thing that leans back. This was made out of metal and looked almost like a very small bike. So anyway, I yell at the kid to stop. He starts crying and ignores me. I pedal up to him and get in front of him. He rides into my bike and falls. I don't help him up, but I take my trike back. I put it inside the house and then go back outside to finish up in my garage. Now, from across the street to the left, I hear B5K yelling to someone. I assumed it was his older sister. She was a year behind me and didn't usually care about the stuff he complained about. So I expected her to come over here and just give me a little crap, playfully, and then go home. I go back to my chore, and then I feel someone prod me between the shoulder blades. I assumed this to be his sister, so I turned around, ready for a pretty smile and sarcastic chewing out. I was ill-prepared for this, because it was EM, in all her rage. "What did you steal from my son?" Nothing. "My son says you took something from him while he was playing. Where is it?" "I didn't give him a thing. He tried to steal a tricycle." "Where is it?" "I'm not telling you." "You could have killed my boy." I just look at her, very confused. He was only playing. Give him his tricycle back. His tricycle? He got it from my garage. Well, you're too old for it. Look, lady, I'm just trying to finish a job so I don't have to worry about it. Please, walk away. I pulled my Siemens flip phone out of my pocket and called my mom. EM promised to have my trike back when my mother came home and picked up her little thief and left. Well, I mean, at least you got your stuff back, and hopefully that kid eventually learns the hard way that he can't just take people's stuff. And with that out of the way, you guys, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much once again for tuning into Life Stories. Hopefully this helps you guys in these trying times. And remember, stay safe, stay clean, make sure you're keeping your distance from people so that people don't get sick. And in the meantime, you know how it works. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff to make sure that all the content we got working on our end is coming your way. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys soon.